All right, so we're going to start this Bruce Crane Old EG, which is only said in the most greatest respect for one of my favorite American artists. He died in 1937. He was he painted out of New York City, and he was famous for his landscapes, winter and fall landscapes, but occasionally he did some summer ones. And so I'm going to show you down here on the our table. This is a black and white of what we're painting, and I want you to understand why this is important. The subject, it's called, it's a summer storm coming or something. What is it, John?
Oh, I know that. It is Impending Storm.
Impending Storm. And when you look out at it, there's this little house out here. This could be the ocean. Do you think out here, maybe?
No.
You think that's the ocean? No. Could be a hill. I don't know what it is. And then we're laughing about what I think. So we know this is a house. These are some trees. You'll notice the light in the cloud here. And you'll notice that the dark areas, see where the dark areas are coming from. So you want to ask yourself, when you go to paint these trees, where's the light coming from? Notice that the intense light is right there, but not so much back here. Do you see that on this one? This is very bright. This is not quite so bright. A little tiny bit of light here on the clouds and here. And you've got this dark area here. So this is, design-wise, this is beautifully done. You've got this stick. So I've traced the image on. This is a very faded image of it. You can trace it on. Just on some, I had some canvas that I painted brown. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a palette. These Stay Wet palettes are wonderful because you can keep using them. There's black, there's magenta, there's like a purple, the phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, phthalo green. This is buff titanium. You can make that with white and yellow oxide and a bit of raw umber if you want. Cad yellow light, cad yellow medium. A little tiny bit of, there's some oranges in there. There's some colors in this painting that you wouldn't think so. But we're going to start with the sky, all right? First thing we're going to do is start with the sky, and you'll notice that this area in here is going to be the blue area. So we're going to take the ultramarine and phthalo blue and a little bit of buff titanium and come this way. And let's take a tiny bit of raw umber with it because we're going to age the picture a little bit. A little more white. If you want to age something, use raw umber. And we're going to just a mixture of raw umber, phthalo blue, white, maybe a little bit of this buff titanium. Okay. And there's, using the brush strokes going across like this, we're going to say that this is our sky. And it's interesting because normally if you have a little bit of a blue sky up here like this, you might have some blue somewhere else on the canvas. We don't. So as I'm painting this, because this is a premiere, I want to give a big shout out to our mods.
Thanks, Mod, for showing up.
Coming up, and they come all the time, and you guys, we thank you. And you asked about doing some old EGs. John, later on in the show, John will show you. We have another one of his paintings. One of our most successful paintings in our academy is one of his snow paintings. Everybody loved doing it.
Yeah, that's called Winter Morning.
Winter Morning. Okay, looks like I got a little paint on there.
Let me just pop that up here right now for you.
John's going to just show you that that's one of his, our real famous pictures. Now, I want to paint this house, and I'm going to just take the buff titanium, and I don't want to lose the shape of this house, because it's kind of an old-fashioned looking barn, and the angles of it are interesting. They look a bit weird, but that's how he painted it, so that's what we're doing.
Why do they look weird?
Well, I mean, normally I would do this instead of like that. I'd do it straight down. But
well, no, because it's a barn.
Yeah, I guess it's a barn. Yeah, I guess it's a barn. You're right, it's a barn. It's a barn, you guys. John says it's a barn. All right.
It's a barn. I've had a barn.
Then some burnt sienna, like here, like that, and a little bit of buff titanium, like so. Burnt sienna, buff titanium, and a little tiny bit of black. But with that, there we go. We're going to say there's our house. Barn. Barn. Yes, barn. Okay, out
Barn.
this way. Yeah. So, and then he's got kind of down at the bottom here, I'm just going into a little bit of this cad orange. He's got a little bit of this sort of warm color here. A little bit more than I want, so I'll just wipe my brush off. Get a little bit more of this buff color. And kind of give it a little tiny bit, kind of age this a little bit. We may do another coat of paint, but that's what we're doing with that. When we're saving that, and let's, as long as we're in the saving mode, let's do our little, save that guy there. We know he's there, okay? So what do we know for sure? Well, we've got a little bit of purple and black, a little bit of magenta and black, and we're going to come back here, and we're going to put in this landscape here, like that, a little bit more black. Normally we don't paint with black, but he did, so we're going to do it anyway.
A lot of the ODGs did.
Well, they did, so we're going to come up here like that, and it's behind the house like this, and like that. And then where else do we know we have this color? Well, we have this color right in here like this, underneath this bridge, about this far, okay? So sometimes when I'm doing something, I always say, where else can I put this color? Take a little bit of phthalo green and black, and I'm going to come right here and just say, make this a little darker. Otherwise you can just kind of darken things, and maybe a little phthalo green right on top of this black. Here's that, we did the black, and we'll just mix this color right here, okay? Now if I take some raw, as I take some, I'm trying to think what this is, buff titanium, hold that green color, and come here. Ooh, let's get some raw umber with that. There we go. And that's just sort of, and use the side of your brush here and kind of melt those colors together. So that kind of is doing this. So I know that's kind of weird, but that's basically what we've got there. Now if we're talking, we're still in the greens, if I just get some yellow oxide on my brush with some of this, I could come up here like this and paint that in right there. I always like to see where else I can put the color, right? I can do that. And I probably could take a larger brush, say like this one size, take some yellow oxide, and come this way, and paint this color in here like that, because that, you've got to have an underpainting color, right? And maybe a little bit of burnt sienna here, like that, coming up this way. These are just colors I'm laying under other colors, yes? The same yellow oxide and burnt sienna. I want to come up with, well, I don't want that, but it doesn't hurt it, but I want burnt sienna and yellow oxide like this, coming up this way. Notice the brush direction's changed. We're coming up that way. So as we lay in these different colors on our underpainting, that's going to show through. Notice the brush direction, that where everything's going. And then back up in here, we're just going to take some ultramarine blue and phthalo green and just sort of do a dark color like that. Maybe a bit of yellow in it. Yellow oxide, let's try that. There you go. Want this sort of darker color. Notice that, notice the brush direction where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of come this way with it on an angle brush like that. So if you're talking about, you know, when you're painting something in, when can you cover something else? This is still wet. I'm going to take my brush with the same mixture and do this. And it's mixing colors on it because that's still slightly wet. It's mixing colors on here. Let's put a little tiny bit of raw umber in that, because that will age it. We want to age this picture a little bit. Okay. So, and I want something a little darker over here. A little bit of black and phthalo green right in here like that. And then I've got something pretty dark here. Let's see, we've got this. This is the bridge right here. Right back in here's our bridge. So all this is going to be tree. We've got a tree here. All this is tree. There's a tree up here. So that's about as much as we can do with the foreground. And you see what I'm talking about, sort of laying it in? Right? And that's all I'm doing is like laying in the foreground like that. It's kind of crept over on me. So I'm going to rinse the brush and get all the green off. Now I've changed brushes so I don't have to rinse it. I'm going to get a brush that doesn't have a lot of green on it.
That's like kryptonite, that
yeah, that green, so I just never rinse it out in time. So I've got one of these big D brushes here. I think I have a bigger one than that, don't I? Didn't I get a bigger one? Maybe I didn't. Yeah, this is bigger. Yeah, here. This is a D12. All right, now we want to have all the brush direction is everything on this painting, you guys. Absolutely everything. So we need the sky to be going this direction. Everything's got to be going this direction. And you'll notice that, so we're going to start, this is dried enough. We're going to start with the white. We've got to mix, got a little thing here. We're just going to start with the buff titanium, a little bit of burnt sienna, like that, and a little bit of raw umber, like that. There you go. So that's our first group of clouds that's coming this way. And I notice I'm pulling all the brush strokes like this. I'm going to take a little bit of that black color and add to it. See that? I'm going to gray a little something in here like that, and I'm going to pull all this way. And now, a lot of times, you might want to watch this 2 or 3 times to see how I do these clouds, because it just, I know it looks kind of simple, could be a little more tricky than maybe you thought. A little burnt sienna, a little bit of cad red.
Yeah, they already look stormy though. Just by doing the brush strokes the way you did, you have a stormy looking sky.
Exactly. So I've got this kind of red coming in here like this. And then what you do is you wipe all this paint off the brush, come back a little bit with the black in the buff titanium, and get this gray color going up in here like that. A little bit of the raw. I think I need the raw umber in this palette. If I get it, it's going to go into the green otherwise. So I want that raw umber color. So here it is, right like that. See, raw umber is a very translucent brown. I'm going to say that there's some of this dark going up in here like that. Okay, maybe some lighter color up in here. Just barely touching it up to now like that. There's a little bit of something up here. You know, we're just going to get the general gist of this. If you don't get exactly clouds, you look outside and look at a storm. It changes every few minutes. So if your storm looks a little different, just
the wind blew it a little bit.
Time went by, man. It got quick.
You weren't quick enough.
You weren't quick enough, right? So I'm going to bring all of this down in here like this. Like that, like this. Okay. One of the things I like to do, and we didn't do it this time, I really need a roll of paper towels over here, John, where I can just grab paper towels when I need it. I know we have them up here in the studio somewhere, but being able to wipe your brush off is key on this. And I want to show you how to do it, because if you don't do that, you've got a window to wipe with. So to make sure that you understand, you got to wipe it when you can. Thank you. Here, now look. Look at what I'm doing. Wipe, wipe, wipe. See that? Now I can then take this brush and push pretty hard and soften this. You know, like that.
And you need to make sure you say wipe, wipe, wipe.
You know, see, you're wiping, understanding what you're wiping. A little more of the buff titanium right up in this cloud up in here. I want a little bit of orange with that. So buff titanium, just a little bit of warm that up here like that. See that? Make it almost a peach color. The same thing up in here like that. Pull these streaks back like that. And this, he did something pretty clever. He has a little bit of, think about this sort of purple color using magenta and ultramarine blue and a little raw umber. Okay, you see that? So we just sort of, maybe a touch of black. All right, see that? Like that? There you go. Now we've got some really dark clouds coming up this way. And as I go right into the black when I get back this way, right next to the house. So I know I've got all this is dark up here. I've got this dark, dark sky up here. A little bit of burnt umber now. Up here, this is the darker colors. You see, I wipe off the excess paint. And I'm going to say there's this darker sky right here. Using the side of the brush, kind of wiggling it around. Alright. Okay, so that's dark right there. Take a little bit more of the ultramarine blue and black. Payne's gray would have been a good color too. And we're going to come in here like this next to our house like that. Now I've got this edge here, so I'm going to rinse the brush. This is, and wipe it out, wring it out. Now my edges are wet, and holding the brush flat like this, maybe even on the back side of it, I'm going to fuzz out these edges of the cloud like water mist, so I don't want any hard lines. You see that? I want one bit of cloud to melt into another bit of cloud. Okay? Like that. And let's do a little bit of water on there. A little bit of circular like this. And then there's a little bit of this. Honestly, there's a peach color in here that's almost a pink. A little bit of orange and magenta and white. A little bit of raw umber. See that? Maybe a tiny bit of black. There you go, sort of this grayed pink color. See what we did there. And then, pinching off the brush, just add some of this black color. A little bit of purple. Now wiping off the brush like that, see that? I'm going to take a smaller brush, because that one's getting big now for what I'm trying to do. And wet it. Soften that out. The sky is this painting, you guys. And if you've got to kind of go over the edges and soften them. Okay. We want something kind of dark brown up here in the sky. A little bit of burnt sienna too. There we go. So this is all about layers, but this is a quite. I saw a sky like this. I'd get in the basement or something, man. Wouldn't you, John? I mean,
this would be an NEM.
This is an NEM kind of sky. NEM. Is that kind of NEM sky like that? Now you see this line here? We can't have that. So what can we do? A little bit of raw umber. You can layer stuff. It doesn't have to look exactly like his. We're not forging it, but you can definitely layer stuff. But you do want to get the lights and the darks where he's got them.
Well, I think you've had a lot more color than Bruce had in his day.
Well, if you really look at it, he's got a lot of color in his sky. You just don't see it at first. There's a lot of purple in this. There's a lot of pinks. It doesn't look like that, but it's really, there really just is. And the darkest thing down here is the land, and then the sky is not as dark as that, but there is some real dark right around here. But then these other colors are like, here's, I'm going to take a little white now with the purples. Let you see the difference. You can do magenta, but just put some black in it. This is fun. I mean, you can take your time with this guy. Don't rush it. Say, oh, I got to get this done and show it on Facebook tomorrow. Take some time. Really, it's better if you take a little time. If you can do it quick, but we'll see it whenever you do it.
We'll see it when it's done.
Yeah.
So many times people will post it and they go, oh, I made a mistake, and they want to then go make the change and post it again. Or they don't post it again. They just said, I made changes.
See, we'll just see how we just got that little bit of light cloud there.
Yeah, Ginger's come back to paintings that are a year old and made changes to them.
All right, so that's an interesting sky right now, the way I've got this. I think pretty interesting. I'm going to come back up here with the burnt umber and black. Come up here with the, make sure I have this corner dark. Okay, and I've got a little bit of raw umber here. Raw umber is a very translucent brown. We're using the little brush now to do these little brush strokes. I'm something maybe more gray and white, maybe. Kind of a gray color. Let's get a little bit more of a gray color. And you can put your own interpretation on your storm too. You just want to make sure that your values stay the same. You see I'm just getting some more browns. I'm layering the sky a little bit now. And I just do have that little peach color.
You need to share that palette with us once in a while, because that's off camera.
Okay.
Not all the time, just let's see where you're grabbing stuff. And keep telling us the colors you're ending up using.
And this is pretty bright here. Remember, acrylics dry darker, so you may think you've got it. And this feels a little dark right here, so I'm going to lighten that up. He's, you know, that's kind of how he has it, but I don't know if I like it. I do something like that. Just, you know, artistic license here, you guys. Changing it things a little bit. Buff titanium and a little bit of cad red. See how I'm adding some color to this sky? And you don't think so, but a little bit of the darker raw umber in that. Little tiny brush strokes now. Everything, you notice how everything's going to go in one direction like that. That's alright. Now, as I recall, this was pretty flat right here. Yes and yes. And then on this side of the house, it's just almost...
Barn.
Yeah, the barn.
There's a tractor in that barn, that's how I know.
Oh, I see. I've got the house drawn in wrong too. The barn, it goes back, slants down. Just as a by the way, it does. All right, so let's take some phthalo green and burnt umber, okay, and tap off that, and let's put this in here like that. Put this big brush away now.
Thank you.
Let's just say we know we've got a tree in here like this. That's coming up here like that. So it's just phthalo green and a little bit of black in it. And I don't think I have the house coming down far enough. The barn, I know you keep calling me barn, house, barn.
It's not, it's a barn, lady.
Okay. I need to bring it down.
You're making it more like a house now, though.
No, it's a barn. I didn't. I just got to bring it down further.
Didn't you? You were always around barns. You had horses.
Yeah, but we didn't have anything fancy like this. Our barns were crummy. You know, it was around barns, but we certainly didn't have a barn like that. Okay. So we know that that's dark there. It's all dark over here. And then this is coming up this way. Now, what I have to put out for you guys, more phthalo green. So if there, you have a, let's see, where did I put that? Somewhere interesting. Where do you think I put the green? Oh, probably in this bucket somewhere. Why would I be buried at the bottom?
And this is one of those points that we'd be editing out.
It's one of those things where everything gets, I don't know, John. Here, what is this? There we go. This is the Holbein phthalo green.
That'll work.
All right. Now, what do we know for sure? Well, we know that we got phthalo green and ultramarine blue and a little brown, and we know that this is all dark in here like that, and maybe a little bit of black with that. This is going to be all dark in this area. Like that, and it's going to be in front of this barn like this. So that's how much of this barn you're going to see. Okay, so everybody's with me? So if I take a little bit of the yellow oxide on the brush and don't rinse it, if I come under here like this is where my bridge is. John says it's a fence. I think it's a bridge.
And you think that's water?
I think this is a gully that sometimes there's water in it. Not today.
I think it's a path for the cows to get back to the barn.
It's nope. Okay, so I'm
beg
just
to
thinking a
differ.
little bit of orange
we're
right
gonna
here.
we're gonna have to have a blow up picture. Is going to be posted right now.
Yeah, you guys. I think it's. I do
I'm
not
going
think
to put a
it,
picture
it's,
up here.
I tell you what. I really am convinced that that's a bridge.
I'm convinced it's a gate. So when you're painting it, you can decide what you want to make it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm right though.
No, I don't think so, my queenness.
I'm right. You know I'm right. All right. Do you see what I did there? So I made this light right here, so that our gate would show. You're saying gate, bridge, or bridge will show like this. Okay. Now, I'm going to dry this real quick, okay? Let's just take a moment and dry everything. John can cut that out.
Well, yeah.
All right, with me?
I wouldn't leave you now.
Okay.
You're getting down to the exciting part.
Now we're getting down to the good part, right?
Putting my
So
fence
I'm
in.
saying that this is a, let's see, it's some burnt umber. And I'm saying that our bridge does this. Burnt umber and black. It arches up like this. Looks like a bridge to me, but you know.
Well, the way you're painting it, it still looks like a fence.
It's a bridge. It's a bridge.
Fence,
It's a
fence,
bridge.
fence. We'll have to have a little poll on this one.
Yeah, what's a bridge, you guys? All right, and then back up in here, just with kind of the same dirty old brush, we're doing this right like this, sideways. What we know for sure is that we've got a bush that's coming like that, right? Okay, and I've got a dark tree that I'm painting in here like this. All right, with me? So far so good, yes? Well, not really, but you gotta trust on this one, right?
You have to have faith in what we're doing here.
So then I'm gonna just putting in these two trees. So I'm gonna say that the phthalo green and the little bit of the buff titanium, and I know that, for instance, right up into here, just tapping this in here like that. A little bit of yellow oxide. Where'd that raw umber stuff go? Raw umber's aging the colors, you guys, so it doesn't look like today's painting. Comes all the way down here like this. That's the shape. All right, and then the other tree comes, it's very dark right up in here, close to this, and then this is very dark. Put a little black with this. This is very dark in here like that. Then we're going to wipe the brush off. Yep. Then we're going to go into the lighter green color. That's kind of the phthalo blue too. It's pretty bright swimmer green. And we're going to say that this is a barely touch this. Put a little bit of white on the brush. Try that color again. Okay. Now we're not leaving it this color, but that's kind of where we have to have it for now. With this other lighter green color here. And I can't do much with this green till it dries. I can only do a little bit up in here. A little bit of black in that green. Up in here like that. On this tree and on this one. Okay. So, in order for this to show up, now this is a tricky part. We're gonna really focus on these trees here. All right, we're gonna dry it. I'm gonna do one like this. All right, because that's pretty small. All right, now we're gonna start adding. We're gonna carve this tree out. We're gonna say right up in here. There's the base of that, right? Okay, and that's a little thicker than I want, so I'm going to come up right next to it with the dark color, thin that out. So you just see the yolk of that tree with that little bit of a light going through it, yeah? Now using white and just a little phthalo green, put a little bit of yellow oxide with it. See, a little bit, maybe some orange in it. There we go. Orange, grays, green. Now what happens over here is that on this side, right next to it, right up in here, let's take some buff titanium and this green color and say that this is this tree over here like that. It's coming down next to our bridge, and we've got some of that color over here on this side. This is where your raw umber is going to be very helpful. You may have to just grab some of the raw umber from here and mix this green color like that. Remember I told you where the light areas were? You won't be, if this is too dark, you may have to dry it before you can get another light area on it, right? But I want to say that this tree came here. See, I'm going to carve it out by using color. See how I've done that? And I'm saying there's this sort of orange color behind here like that too, see? So that's how I'm going to carve this. So you see that tree, you're seeing that because of this, a little of this orange color right down here by the this edge. And depending on, this was a very large painting, this was huge, and we're not making it that big, so we can't really put the detail in. He might have, all right? We just can't, because we just don't have the size, the ability to do that easily, all right? But we do know that, for instance, the other, oh, look at that. See, you can't have all that. This is why you keep wiping the brush. We do know that there's another part of the tree right here. See, there's that other branch. And maybe there's a branch going right here. Okay. And then there was some dark. I'm just, whatever he's doing, I'm just doing it. There was some dark right here by this bush. Okay. And then, of course, this tree is going to be lighter, and we've got this tree lighter, and then we go way up here, and we've got this little tree up here. Try not to make a puff. Kind of make it a little bit more jagged, right? Now we're going to come up here on the roof like this. Let's see if we got that right. A little bit more of the blue-green. Like this. A little bit more blue-green right up in there. Okay, so we're saying there's some trees here. And we're not trying to, we could spend hours on this, okay? So this is a very fast rendition of how you might paint this. But we know that for sure that this is lighter right up in here. Change the size of your brush strokes. If you make big brush strokes, it's going to, I wonder why it doesn't look right, because your brush strokes were too big. Sometimes you have to make little tiny dots. Barely see the dots. There you go. Just barely see this area here. If you have to go back and put some dark, you can. Don't be afraid to put some dark color back. But you see how this house is coming out now, yes and yes? And the same thing here, the yellow oxide in the green is a nice touch too. Like that. Just okay, so see how we're building up the color? And if I look at this line right here across, where's my, look, this is coming to here and down like that. See that? So coming to here and down, so I'd say we were pretty good there. Okay, make sure that we've completed that. All right, now, same in the greens, right? Same in the greens. We're going to say that we've got just brush strokes being everything. We're just going to say we've got some grass growing this way. Right, now when it comes to this bank, which I think is the river, this is going up like this.
That's how the cows down. Get home.
Okay, so this, you've got up vertical, and then as it goes back up the clip bank, your brush strokes are going kind of this way. And then you've got some darker ones that are coming this way. So you don't want to get them too long, but that's when it's going up this way. And then you've got a, see, that's why you want the towel when you start to make a mark and it doesn't work. Got a tree right there, and it's not going to be that bright. There is a tree. I think it should be down. Should go straight up and down though, like that. Let's just take that off and put it in correctly. Okay. So we want a brown tree. And we want it to come, kind of roll the brush like this. You got a tree there, okay? You can kind of see it from my black and white. And then you've got some, got a couple little posts like that. See that? They're straight up and down. Alright, so there's our, see how this is starting to come to life a little bit? Not a lot, but just a little bit. And that's the trick when you're painting something like this, is where can I put, where else can I put this color? I know, for instance, like back over here in front of this area here, I've got some light tan coming along here like that, pretty much lighter than that. Along there, yeah, there's some light in the back, right? Alright, so we're playing with them. Again, we're just playing with the lights and darks. Okay, so this cloud here is a little bit, I'm going to bring this down a little bit here like that. And just as I'm painting it, then I'm going to darken this cloud. Okay. And as I see where I need to add color to the sky, I will. I need to add some more dark around this tree. I can do that. Just add more dark to the sky. Okay, you guys, so then you kind of see how we're putting this in here. These, again, those are our four main trees that really kind of, that's our center of interest. So we're most interested in having like a gray-green, something a little lighter up in here with a few little brush strokes. Something a little lighter here, maybe with a little bit more of a yellow tint to it. Kind of a, I want something gray. Let's put a little purple in that. Purple in the green. There you go. I want something a little bit warmer here, come in here like that. So getting these colors right, that's your trick. Getting these colors for the top of the trees, I would say that's one of your bigger goals on this painting. Is to, just gonna get a little white here on the top of this, on this tree right here like that. Because I want, we're bringing, this tree here is the lightest one right there. And what do I know for sure? I know that I've got a dark line right here on this post, like that. And let's see, what do I know for sure on this tree? Is I've got something pretty light on that tree. Yeah, there we go. And it's got a dark side too. Nothing is ever just one color. All right, so as I look at this now, and you can kind of see, here's my black and white. See, here's the black and white of what we're doing. Are we getting that? That's how you use a black and white. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take a, kind of an angle brush now, and I'm going to work on the rest of the painting and just try to fill in as best I can, and then we'll see where we're at. So how kind of time we got in this, John?
You got about 50 minutes.
Okay, so that's not horrible.
No, you're right on schedule.
Right on schedule, right? I always work. Having not painted this myself before, I'm just sort of, I'm working on, you know, how I'm going to paint it. All right, so here's my green. I don't have anything that green, bright green, but I can put some, and let's see, let's try a little black in that green. Green, and there you go. That's an interesting green. How about a little bit of phthalo blue with that? Oh, that's an interesting green right there, isn't it? All right, that's probably closer to what I was doing. Okay, there we go. Now, I've got some green coming this way. And I've got green coming up this way, just kind of on our... And there was something really light back in here. Sometimes you can put white with that too. So see how I'm mixing that? Just really... Okay. Okay, that was that. Now we need more yellow oxide in that. See how we just kept everything at an angle? Okay, that's pretty good. And then what happens here? We want this lighter, so we'll take some of this buff titanium and lighten this up. See this? See how much it lights like a mint green here? Then we want some darker green. Because everything's either dark or lighter than something else, right? And then
that's a pretty profound
well,
statement.
I mean, but John, but people don't take that into consideration when they paint anything. See, our bank's coming down like this. Put a little bit of black in that. A little bit too blue. And then this is the fun part, because you're going over the bank with this. All right. I'm doing enough of that where some of the dirt shows through here. Okay, and then in the front here, this was charming. He did, this is purple in here. Don't ask me why. Kind of a mauve color. On the front, and then he's got a little bit of this light green coming right. Whoops, way too much paint. See what I mean about wiping your brush? No, I don't like that. Got too much paint on it, so what'll I do? Oh. Just stomp that in there. It's too light. All right, so tiny brush, angle brush, come up on this is a bank of some kind. I don't know how you don't see this. Is a bank of some kind right here.
It's tall grass the way I see it, boss.
It's a bank.
It's tall grass.
No, it's a bank.
You're
It's a
so
bank.
wrong on this one.
Okay, so
oh, it's embarrassing.
Alright, let me just blow this up so I can see what I'm painting. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is definitely a bridge.
Oh, you slay me.
It's a bridge, I'm telling you, I'm blowing it up. I'm looking right at it. It's a bridge.
I'm telling you it's not.
It's a bridge. Hello. Now I'm going to suggest that you find the original of this. Because again, he did it really big, and we're not doing it very big, so
like
we're not going to get the same effect that he got. We can give you kind of an idea how he did it, but and then this was this tree here, like this. Okay, so we're just suggesting these trees. That's kind of darker brown down here. Alright, so that's coming, I kind of see where it's coming along, right? Now, and we've got brush strokes going this way, down off the grass like this. As we get up to this part, still with me, right? Want some burnt sienna with that. You know what we're out of is burnt sienna, so when you don't have colors out, it's hard to paint. Alright. I like a working palette because you can always grab colors. But you see how this is coming together, you guys, right? So and then he's got, no, you know, it's debatable what we've got here.
That's a nice way to put it. It's debatable.
But it's sort of this mauve color with a little black in it. And we've got all the brush strokes going up and down like this. With a little bit of color in it. Barely touching this. And then we've got this sort of bright green color going back here, which is too much paint. And you've got the dark okay, so it's interesting, we all see the world differently, but I really see this as kind of like a dry gulch or something else. All right.
Yeah, a pathway to the barn for the cows to get back in.
No, because then that would be a tunnel or something. No.
No, it's a gate. You open the gate to let the cows in.
No.
Oh.
And we said this was darker here, coming up from the bottom like that. Yeah, everybody's with me on that. Yes and yes. Now this part here, Oh, bless his heart. He did a beautiful old log here, so we'll just put that in here. We're just going to take that black color. Let's put some red with it. That makes kind of it's like a cad red. Let's use that up. I've got this old, it's up like that. There's this log. And all right, there's his log, okay? No, it's not done yet, but close enough, right? And then we've got this dark green color. This is green. And then it comes along here and does this next to this tree. It's easy to get lost here. Something's doing this like that. All right, that works. All right, I can live with that. I mean, I have to have everything he has in the picture, but I do kind of want to get it somewhat here. And then this is coming like this, like that. There's this part of the bridge. Bridge. It's part of the bridge. With me? It's part of the bridge. All right, so now I'm just curious what you guys think it is. I know if we're... All right, so just take a little bit of a... All right.
Everybody knows it's a gate.
Nobody knows it's a gate, John. It's a bridge.
How do you get the cows back in?
Okay.
I'm liking that sky. It's got great colors in it. Looks stormy.
It does, doesn't it? So there's this old log, and then let's get some green underneath here to reshape it. You got to bury the log, right?
Bury the log.
Which we just did, yes? Now let's take some green and black. Make this a little darker here. Could be good green and burnt umber too you could have used. Let's there's that tree. Okay, there's a background there. I'm getting close, you guys. I feel like we're getting close.
I think you'd be knocking on the door.
And we want it lighter around the house. Yes and yes. We need a little bit lighter green around the house. Barn.
I give up.
And then we want lighter here. So once I go back and I'm doing this, I'm going back and saying, okay, well if that's there, then this is lighter here. sometimes the light can be very interesting in a storm. Have you ever noticed that, John?
Absolutely.
The light just gets very dramatic in a storm. A little bit of yellow right in here, kind of orange. This is a little bit of cad orange. Let's mix that with a little white. A little cad orange and white. Okay, that gets some distance back here like that. But angle brush really helps when you have that. I'll just put something down in here like that. And let's see, raw umber. Okay, got to tone that down. All right, so how did we do here? I tell you what, I like everything but this up here. It's in his too, and I don't like it. I want to work on the sky a little bit more for you guys. So just before we get too far, I got a few little works on the trees. I think we need to bring something down a little darker in this area. And this bothers me right there. I know he's got it in there, but I just, you know, everybody sees the world differently, and I just don't like the sky like that. How's that?
Well, I think you should change it. See how you put a river in there instead of a pathway for the cows.
There you go. It was saying too much.
It was shouting.
It was shouting at me because your eye goes first, the lightest light, and the darkest dark. And this got a little purple in here. So, we need some either black or Payne's gray. And there's some black. Again, we're just sort of, when you run out of paint, you can't keep mixing the colors.
I don't understand that.
You know, and it's just and what happens is people say, well, I ran out of paint, I didn't put any more paint out. Well, you guys, you know. All right, so there's some black. So I know that I want, you can have black and purple, but I don't want to, remember, yellow, gray is purple, so let's put some orange in that purple. And take a little yellow and put it in that purple color. There you go, it's an interesting color. Now let's move our paper towel. Sometimes I do that to see the color I want. That's kind of nice. That purple helped it. Well, this is quite a stormy sky, isn't it? I need a little bit of breathing room between these two trees. Like that. See, I need to separate them, and there's a little bit of a Oh my gosh, you guys don't understand the colors that end up in here. As the more I look at his stuff, the more colors I see. So we're seeing that right there. He actually has more of a curve on his bridge than I have on mine, but you know, who's counting, right? So when you're painting something like this, I know we haven't, you know, we haven't chatted a lot about, haven't stopped and talked about what all we're doing, because I'm really focused on this now. Sometimes if I'm doing a live show, I can't do it. So the advantage of a premiere like this is you've really got 100% of my focused attention on something like this, and which could be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe we're going to say this goes back here like that. I might want to bring this path back. See, just bring somebody back that way, which we can do. Grass, when you're painting grass, it's up and down. Unless it's laying down somewhere, the brush strokes are up and down, little up and down strokes like that. This is some of the brown showing through, but it's still up and down. Okay, and those were more at an angle, but that's all right. We'll just. Now, what on the house could we make a little bit? The barn, the barn, the barn, the barn, the plane, the barn. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, put it in the white. I'm going to brighten up this house right here. See, now I just have it white. Do you see that? But now I'm going to brighten it up. Isn't that interesting what that does? And then, bless his little heart, he had, using these same colors, he had little tiny flowers, just a few little dots of, very tiny little dots here. That's not a tiny dot.
That's a big dot.
So like right up in here, just using the corner of your brush or toothpick or something. It's got a few little dots. No birds. I don't understand. Maybe the birds all got scared. Do you think the birds all got scared, John?
Oh, that storm pending? Yeah, absolutely.
There's no birds flying?
That's why the cows were back in the barn, because they followed that path and opened the gate.
Flying like that. See how I brightened that tree up? Maybe a little bit right up in this center area. This tree has a lot of colors in it, of green. And then it has that very moss-colored green, soft green as you get down into here. This was still too dark right there. So you're coming down on the edge. It's really more green than that, though. It's almost like phthalo green and white. It's the color, really almost phthalo green and white. You don't have to get too tricky with it. And if you really want it to be, you could just do something like that. I think we're pretty close to what he had. We haven't put the little see what a little bit of the windows in. And they're little, please. Do not make them big. Okay, there's just, that gives it a little life. I'm not convinced. We got something dark going this way. You really think that's a path? I don't think it's a path at all. But I know this is like lighter here. It's just weird to me. This is a very interesting painting on lights and darks. Cad yellow light is a good light green color, and you can make a very nice light green with that, even with a tiny bit of black in it. You can make a very nice soft light green. I'll start curving it over here like that. Well, you may see something different in this picture than I saw.
Oh, do you think?
I know I've got a shadow doing this on those. I do think that, John, I do think that it was a kind of goes up that way. That's a ravine. I think it's a ravine, or maybe it eventually fills up with water. But this is low and that's high. That can't be a gate. I can't wait to hear what people say, because they're going to agree with me. There's no way in God's green earth that can be a gate.
I don't think they'll agree with you. I think you're mistaken.
It's all right. It's all right. What they say, a clock is right twice a day, but I don't think you're right this time.
I'm not a clock. I'm always right.
All right. See, we're just playing with color now, you guys. Playing with it. I'm just lightening up again. See how long it takes you to paint something. But I'll tell you what, I like our sky. And if it feels like it's a little bit too much in the purple, which me and colors, I love colors. We could kind of lighten up some of this, which I feel is pretty good, and maybe darken up.
That was a good looking painting.
I think it's working. See how I put it dark next to this tree, so it kind of, right, just kind of balance out the lights and the darks. The back little house back over here, we could put back. There was a little tiny dot here that indicated somebody lived there too, but it's so far away you don't see it. All right, do you see anything I might have missed?
Other than the gate? Nope.
It's not a gate. It's not a gate. It's not a gate, Cupcake.
It looks like a gate to me.
Apparently. I'm just...
What if I can find another picture of that painting?
What's that?
See if I can find another picture of that painting.
Yeah, go ahead. Find another picture. See, just make me right again.
Impending Storm.
It's a gully, it's not a gate. It's a gully, not a gate. Gully. This is where we lose people in the premieres. Everybody says, "Oh, I want you to do an old EG," but nobody wants to stay to see how you fix it. They want about 10 minutes of old EG and then they're over it. This is where the last bit of color comes through. This tree didn't show up the way I wanted it to. I guess it's kind of doing it now, like it's just kind of showing up now. It had some sometimes you've got to make sure that you don't have too big of branches on here. So I want some of the grade greens in here, nothing too yellow. I think that's actually easier to interpret than what he did. Alright, I think I'm ready for a frame if you know where one is, John.
Yeah, I sure do.
Then we'll put this in a frame and see what we all think.
Let me scurry that up. Well, why don't you let that dry a little bit and show the folks some of the stuff that's coming up in the Academy while I dig up that frame.
Okay, I'm going to move this mixing thing over here. And I just wanted to make sure that we've got, this is where, you see where we're had to have our highlights, do you see that? And because your acrylics are drying darker, you want to make sure that you've got the lights where they need to be. But I think we do, don't you guys? Don't you think we do? Don't you think we've got the lights and the clouds and the... it was fun the way he put the blue in the clouds, and I guess he had some, he kind of broke these clouds up too, like this, and put something down here like that. But I think you can overdo this really quickly. There, okay. All right, I will show you guys what else we've got going here. And
let me get that frame.
Let's move this for a minute, and we'll just, we did that because you said you wanted to see some old EGs, and there's so many different paintings that are coming up. First off, I want to tell you, this winter we've got in the Academy this new a winter scene. I don't think we have a lot of winter landscapes, so we've got a couple of Bruce Cranes. I think it's one of our first ones with a cabin. I think this is really kind of a cool one. I think you saw maybe did this color scheme with an old truck last year, so I really like this one. And then we've got, this one is called The Artist. And what's interesting about this painting is that it's done in the same style. John almost has to zoom back out. It's done in the same style as our one with the jazz player, and yet it's The Artist. And again, it's just very impressionistic, just a lot different than what we taught today. But if you're interested in learning portraits, the Academy Fine Art Acrylic Painting or Painting with Ginger has got, our website has got tons of tutorials now on painting people. Here's our jazz player, and you can see it's done in the same style, yes? And the same kind of colors, same color palette. And this is, you know, so if you were to talk about, you know, learning to paint people, this is one way to do it, and it's a very easy way to do it once you get the formula down on how to paint that way. It can be very interesting. That trick is don't put in too much detail. So there's a jazz person. And then again, for those of you, I want to thank again everybody that contributed tonight to our scholarship fund. These original paintings that I have done on our trip this last summer will be drawing for anybody that donated at least $25. For every $25, there's a ticket. We'll do a drawing. That's from on our website. So
you get a ticket added to the fishbowl.
Added to the fishbowl. So it's not, if you posted it on Facebook, that doesn't count. You actually have to do it on our website. You can use Stripe or PayPal, or you can even mail us a check if you want. That's all right. But you have a chance to draw for these and own one of these one-of-a-kind original acrylic paintings by me. And these are, you know, I hate to put a high value on it, but there really is a high value on these, and they're really nice to own an original. And I think we've got a lot of people that you know, appreciate what we do, and you not only help other artists you know, learn to paint, but you're helping spread art around the world too. Thank you. Now, you've got my frame somewhere.
Right down to your left there.
Okay, so again, old Bruce Crane.
Oh boy, that really sets it off.
Now when you put it in the frame, it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. Now I get the painting a little more, don't you?
Yeah, I didn't get it without the frame.
Now, if you think that this purple is too much, the artist Ginger likes the purple. But let me just show you what you can do, okay?
No, you're not going to take the purple away.
Well, you can glaze over it with a little raw umber, and you will tone that back.
Right, but you leave your purple in.
John's going to have me leave my purple in. Well, I like it. I've got a little of this purple down here. We've got a few of those little dots of flowers here.
You use it a lot, so.
Let's see. You could do a toothpick with this too. Probably work just as well. There. Just wanted to put a few of his little flowers in, which he did. And so you asked for old EG, you guys, and so I hope that you like this one. Please share these videos. Subscribe to our channel, which we would appreciate very much, and let other people know we're out there, because that's how, you know, you help us get the word out. And feel free to find his painting on the internet if you want. Well, if you want the traceable, you can find it on
our website.
On our website, and we'll show you the original too, so you can see what that is.
Yeah, the pathway for the cows to get into the barn through the gate.
Isn't a pathway for the cows to get into the barn. And this
through the gate.
This is very narrow here, see?
They were skinny cows.
This is very narrow here. See, I knew I had to just try to. Sometimes if I see it in a frame, I can see it in relationship to his, right? Yeah, see? That's, I knew it. There'd always be a little something. So I hope, if, you know, John and I appreciate you guys and all the help and stuff and spreading the word about what we do. And we appreciate our mods for coming. And keep writing and telling us what you would like to paint. We like to know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
So I will just take a Posca pen and sign it right there. And painting storm clouds, what a different way to do it. And I think we were very successful with that. And as we, as you know, if you painted this 15 times, they'll all probably be slightly different. But you get the idea of how you might do a landscape like this.
And that's the key.
And that's the key, you guys. That's the key. And I gotta show you my bunny. Look at my bunny phone. Ugh, that's so cute. You can find the iPhone covers on our website, paintingwithginger.com. And I gotta show you my bunny phone, because that's my new fun thing. All right. All right, there we go, you guys. Have fun painting it.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time right here on YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.